柱と道の感じで。 いですよ。
Pattern on your shirt, the shape of your shadow, the rest just a blur. I try so hard to remember more. The sweetness of your breath, the joke you always told, the way you wore your hat when it got cold. Somehow I'm forgetting details of your face. Take a photograph so to not forget. When I'm looking back, I have no regret. But even then I will find something's lost to time. The funny thing about memory is what we leave.
パリの猫。
C'est bon, ça, il arrivera. J'ai une clé.
Dans son alcool, je vais avoir des cocktails de jus de fruits. Je vais avoir saveur exotique ou saveur fruits rouges. Sinon, je vais avoir une sélection de jus déjà préparés, prêts à boire. J'ai de la pomme, jus
de pêche.
pêche, 2 ou sans sel.
Moi, jus d'abricot.
Abricot
Oui, oui.
Abricot et pêche.
Oui, oui.
Il y a combien de ceux-là alors?
Vous avez 3 menus différents et vous faites votre choix ici avec les entrées, les plats et les desserts. Merci.
Almost two, says a girl dressed in blue, they call her Pity. And I realize that the dark tends to make things much more pretty. I've done this before, once or twice, or maybe more. I've stopped my counting. Points of view tend to change when I lose, yet I keep coming. You're still picking on me, you're picking on me, you're picking on me, you're picking on me. For the one, still the girl, the blue is gone, and how it eases. It stays off my mind, keeps me blind, just as long as she keeps pleasing. You're still picking on me, you're picking on me. You're picking on me, you're picking on me. Why won't you pick on someone your own size? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Five morning shines on a place I've never seen, and I realize that the dark tends to make things much more mean. Still, you're picking on me, you're picking on me. You're picking on me, you're picking on me. Why won't you pick on someone your own size? Take on someone you're on side. Take on someone you're on side.
私が夏休みに行った直後ぐらい。
Moi j'ai mis 21. Comme on est juste à côté.
One more night to sing a song, see the light, dance along an empty floor I've come to know quite well. I've been lost underneath its spell, just for now, bid to you farewell. Dig my heels in, do my best, try to forget all the rest. Remember my good intentions. Caught up in the whirlwind of, forgot about my faith in love to make the whole thing disappear. I've been lost, the fog's begun to is my last. Light a fire, strike a match. Tomorrow comes, the voice is lost. At least I'll have had one more song. One more note, one more breath, one more go is all I got this time. I miss you mostly all the time. I think I made a big mistake to let you go, 'cause I'm getting lonely by the day. And days are passing faster ever since you've gone away. I miss you mostly all the time. So many things have changed around since you have changed your mind. Wondering who you're with today. And if you're thinking about me ever since you've gone away. Son, I've gotta toughen up. I whispered to the mirror, remember how it felt before. I never wanted to get in, I never wanted it until you shut the door. I miss you mostly all the time. I think I made a big mistake to let you go, 'cause I'm getting lonely by the day. The days are passing.
Didn't think it'd go this fast. Why do this as we thought would always last? This is where Dad's garden grows. Summer haze, waiting place, and late night tiptoes. And I know the memories are with me, even when you move to a town that is new. 'Cause I tend to hold on too strong, but you're always home. You're always home to me. when